You. What up? All right. We got one from Bill Hader. Bill Hader. SNL. Barry. He does a lot of impressions too. And this is him on No Country for Old Men. No Country for Old Men. Yeah, we've checked out a lot of people talking about No Country for Old Men. Of course, we've heard Come Town, Nick Mullen, Stavros, and Adam talk about No Country for Old Men. Bill Burr, he's reviewed No Country for Old Men. Louis C.K., Patrice O'Neal and Opie and Anthony and them have talked about No Country for Old Men. And then I'm sure there's been other stand-up we've heard jokes about No Country for Old Men. But yeah, another comedian talking about it, Bill Hader. Let's check it out. Here we go.
The movie's No Country for Old Men. And I would say because the show I do, Barry, we had owes a lot to this movie in a way of how we shoot action and how we cover things and the no music or the where they put music, I just like that it didn't glamorize violence, but it had a way of also making it cinematic. Mm-hmm. A lot of times when people say don't glamorize violence, it's you do handheld and it's kind of really hard to watch, disgusting stuff. This was still cinematic, but it wasn't rad. Well, it was a time where you would watch it, and it's so easy to make the violence in this movie. It was a very easy version of it to make it rad and cool and like a gunfight thing. But instead, it does a great job of every time, as someone who watches action movies and stuff, anytime I thought there was gonna be any sort of violence, I got scared. It was like a horror movie.
Yeah.
You just don't want it. Anytime Javier Bardem would approach someone, you would go, oh, fuck, Yeah. And I know that they like this movie, Man Escaped by Bresson, and they've talked about that, where that movie, and it is just a guy trying to escape from prison.
Yeah.
But it's that same thing of you're just watching methodically what they go through to do it. And they cut a lot out, too. Out of the book, too. I mean, they cut, for the movie, they cut a ton of stuff out to streamline it more, where it's just really is about these three guys.
Yeah.
And kind of they try to get into more of the futility of the whole thing. Whatever. They both get hurt, and then the process of, I'm going to show you the process of the product of the violence, The whole thing's about futility. I feel like the whole movie is just a futility of this is where we're headed, guys.
And this is where we've always been.
This is where we've always been. This is where we're headed. And that, what I loved about the Josh Brolin thing, which is also in the book. And I remember reading the book, and when that happened, I went back.
Yeah, did I
miss
have
something?
A stroke and
wait,
miss
I was
10
like,
pages?
I missed something. Wait, he's dead? Wait, what? But that's what I loved about it, is it starts off as this kind of thriller, but the idea of it is that, and it's in the title, No Country for Old Men, it's that this world doesn't abide by those rules, The world, as we know it, doesn't abide by those thriller rules. It's something much darker and more cynical.
Yeah.
And I just thought that worked beautifully, where he just shows up and he's just dead, and you're like, and the way they shoot it too, where it's handheld behind Tommy Lee Jones, he's running in, and you just see a glimpse of it.
Yeah.
They pay him, this character you've been following the whole time, he is like trash. He's like in the wind. Mm-hmm. He's nothing. It
don't even get a close up.
You don't get a close up. You get nothing. It's like, oh, he's dead. Now we're moving on, and that's the world. That's like, you can't argue with that. You just go, oh man, this isn't about what I thought it was. But they need to lead you into it. And Cormac McCarthy too. They lead you into it in this way, and I think those things had a huge influence on Barry in a way. That kind of mindset of taking you in a direction where you go, oh, I know what this is. And it's like, no, there's actually like these bigger emotional fallouts and just the way the world works. It's just the material. Yeah, the people, everything just lined up. They do No Country, and it has that feeling of like, nah, man, we got to land this.
Yeah, yeah.
Like it felt more, whether they were trying to or not, like we got something to prove here. Clearly they're fascinated by just the work, like what we were saying, like that these two guys, how that shows character and who they are and all these things. And it is almost like a silent movie. And as a filmmaker, I like watching it and you count setups, where you go, okay, there's the camera there. And I go, wow, that whole scene is just 2 shots. And it was riveting, and it was a good lesson for me going into a television show to think like, okay, you only have so much time. You have no time. We got to go. And thinking like, no, we can get this in like 2 shots.
Right.
With 3 shots and they just have to be the right 3 shots. And they storyboard everything.
Yeah.
So I think they storyboard the whole movie. So I think it really is a thing of just of a lot of thought goes into like, how do you tell this visually? Incredible year for movies. I remember this and There Will Be Blood and they were shooting in the same town.
At the same time.
Yeah.
Damn, really?
And that Oscars, I sometimes feel like that Oscars was the one that made them go, okay, we need to do 10 nominations and we need some happy shit in there.
You're actually,
because there was like No Country can't, and our 2 headliners for No Country and There Will Be Blood. We can't have that again.
Damn.
It is true. Like the whole
Same town?
first hour of it, even I remember reading the book and reading in the bookstore, just started just flipping through it and just kind of reading it. And I sat for 30, 40 minutes just reading that whole open.
Of him hunting,
finding the body, finding the money, then laying in bed. And because of his own kind of good nature, I'm going to bring water out to that guy.
Yeah.
And then seeing the thing. Again, that shows character. You go, when I watch it, you go, okay, that guy is like some sort of training.
Yeah.
But he doesn't come out and go, I'm a vet. I was in a war. What I mean?
In 2 tours.
I was in 2 tours. You're like, oh, that guy is moving like a guy who's not afraid and understands.
Right.
But that whole sequence is amazing. The dog
I'm
chase
happy to add it.
is that's insane.
Sir, do you want to buy that?
And then I was like, no. I'm still thinking. I'm not sure yet. And that's when you understand what year it is.
Yeah.
Because they don't say it's 1980.
Oh, yeah, 1950.
And how good is that guy behind the counter? The guy behind the counter is fantastic.
Good old
in that
guys.
scene.
Collection of
And again, not to belabor it or whatever, but it's like 2 shots. It's the whole thing is just 2 shots, 2 sizes. Like they don't do anything. That's all you got to do. It was great. But I I read an interview with them once and they said we put a pull tab on a beer and that was it. That was how you had to know like what year it is. I love it. I love the way when he shoots the one guy and the guy's arm flies off.
Yeah.
And then the him going towards the bathroom and how you see in the mirror the guy look and then when he goes like this. And I remember I saw it a couple of times in the theater and every time that would happen, people would go they would freak out, They're like, he's in the shower. Yeah, they love that stuff. They love kind of showing you a thing that seems innocuous and then it comes back.
It's for
or they'll show you. They're really good at point of view, It's so good.
Amazing.
He plays scared so well of a guy trying to keep his shit together, but terrified so well in this movie.
It's a really
and also
good
the way
scene.
he gets it too is so shot. It comes out of nowhere. That might be my favorite scene in the whole movie because I think that always just kind of. I think the performances in that and the kind of like what the whole movie's about for some reason clicks for me in that moment where she's like, it's not about the coin. You know what I mean? Like where she's saying it's not about fate. It's not about chance. It's you're going to fucking kill me.
Yeah.
And almost Chigurh, like Javier Bardem, that's the scene I think that got him the Oscar for the movie because he almost gets a little emotional. People always say this, like you kind of see like, I don't.
He's
like,
sitting like this.
Yeah.
like
he's in the
chair.
shadows just looking at her and he feels this like, I can't help this. And she's like, no, yes, you can help this. And he's like, no, you just don't get it. I love how I think both of them are so good. And then the way they did that, I thought was amazing, where he walks out and then just checks the bottom of his shoes. I remember seeing that theater the first time when he checks the bottom of his shoes, the whole audience went, oh.
Yeah.
Everybody just went, oh, no. And like, that's the way, again, beautiful storytelling.
Yeah.
You know, I would add towards the end, I like Sugar getting in the car accident because he gets hurt. And again, this is so fucking pretentious, but this is why I like the movie, is that they can do these things and they are real kind of, but it is the kids helping him.
Yeah.
It's like the younger generation is the ones who are going to help the devil. But you know what I mean, though? It's like the fact that it's kids adds to the narrative. And like I just thought that was brilliant. Yeah, they're younger and they don't know. They just are like, oh, this guy got hurt. You should go help him or whatever. But he's like the devil, and I just thought that was, for a movie called No Country for Old Men, I thought that was really smart. And then I really, really, really like the very ending of this movie. I like Tommy Lee Jones's describing a dream he had.
Yeah.
And when he says, I woke up, and it cuts to black and you just hear a clock ticking, it's just, that's so good. It's just like, no, man, this is all this kind of vision of where I thought I was supposed to be and who my father was and all these things, like that doesn't exist. And time's running out. And you're like, dude, that's so rough.
Yeah. It seems that all these guys appreciate No Country for Old Men, and all of them are like very successful comedians, funny comedians, some of the best comedians. I guess they appreciate comedians appreciate horror and thrillers. A couple times, but you usually hear like comedians talk about, at least the comedians that we've been listening to talk about like horrors and shit. Louis C.K. talked about Pootie Tang, but he also talked about There Will Be Blood. I think we've heard Patrice and them talk about There Will Be Blood. I didn't know they filmed in the same town. And then I don't remember them being like nominated for Oscars in the same year. I don't even remember them coming out the same year. Bill's right. Those are two dark movies to be nominated for Oscars in the same year and to be filmed in the same town at the same damn time. Damn. And like when you step back and you look at it, it's like, they're both kind of like in the desert, the oil field and There Will Be Bloods in the desert. And No Country for Old Men with Josh Brolin, at least like the opening scene or the scene where he finds the money, it's in the desert. Same place, same town. Different, probably like about almost 100 years apart. Damn. Yeah. Bill Hader. I wonder what other movies he's talked about or reviewed. This is a movie review. These are movie reviews. Man.